Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames and we're back with another banging video. Now guys, do you remember that clip that Candace Owens had released of Kim Kardashian crashing out on RayJ because she was alleging that RayJ was dating Whitney Houston? And the time when Candace Owens had released that clip, many of us believe that Kim was just being a spoiled brat because ain't no way RayJ would have been dating Whitney.
I want people to call you, but yet you won't call me back. And actually, you know what? Don't call me back. Don't ever call me back. I never want to talk to you ever again. I think you're honestly a sick human being, and I think you are just so desperate that you'll do anything for attention. And you're just so disgusting. Honestly, so, have fun with old hag Whitney Houston. She's so sick. And, crack is definitely not whack with you guys because you are just, honestly, makes me laugh on how disgusting you guys look. You're in Vegas with Whitney, and you need to go hang out with your old, friend, and it's not right, but it's okay. I'm definitely going to make it anyway, because you guys are just disgusting and sick, and stop you're with her. I don't understand it. She's so old and sick, and you are just sick and desperate, so leave me the alone and stop calling me. Hey, you!
And it's because of the age difference, right? Many people, we thought that RayJ was just a supplier for Whitney Houston. However, RayJ is now admitting he was very much in a relationship with Whitney, and it was all good. And he's saying, it breaks his heart that people are accusing him of being involved in Whitney's passing when he has absolutely nothing to do with it. No, I don't know, because sometimes you cannot even listen to a thing that comes out of RayJ's mouth. As you guys know, RayJ is notoriously known for saying one thing today and the opposite of the thing that he says today he's gonna say tomorrow. We've seen it in quite a few instances where he has assumed or alleged that he smashed someone that he didn't smash. One most recent instance of such behavior is wherein he told the internet that he had smashed Sexy Red, or gave the impression that he did, because if you look at how he situated his words, he was very calculated. He knew what he was doing. He knew it would have led to critics assuming that he meant having intimacy with Sexy Red. So he basically said that he slept with Sexy Red while they were on a flight, but it's just that they were on the same flight beside each other. They both fell asleep. So he basically twisted that and he used it in the way that he knew the public would have ran with it and assume one thing when he meant something else. But he's typically known for, basically changing his words consistently. So what had happened was he was on an interview with Cam Newton's Funky Friday podcast, and that podcast was released on the 25th. Yeah. So RayJ basically addressed the long-standing rumors and accusations surrounding his involvement with Whitney Houston, as I've said, particularly concerning her death. He stated that he never did drugs with her and was not present when she died. Now, during this interview, as I've said, he did confirm and acknowledge their brief romance, confirming that he did have a romantic relationship at one point, while he had previously often described their relationship as close friendship. So, As I've said, he's always flip-flopping. So sometimes you hear RayJ say one thing, you don't even know what to believe, because he may say that on the 25th of July, and come August 25th, he may have another story. But anywho, let's take a look at this clip together, shall we? And then I'll get back with the rest of my commentary.
Families, like, okay, just go with Whitney. I love Whitney. I was with Whitney every fucking day. She was one of the most important people to me. Niggas is saying that I was in the room when she died. Bro, that's the biggest cap I've ever heard. I've heard it since the beginning. But when you know the truth, why do you have to jump out there and try to tell it to everybody? So I didn't care about what people were saying at first.
But I think it's important that you use this platform, because one of the things that I was going to hit on is, number one, you mentioned murder. Right?
That's, if you look on all my comments,
yes,
every time I go live, anything, you kill Whitney.
Okay.
That happens, and spam.
Now speak your truth on that.
Here's the truth. It's not my truth. It's just certain times when narratives are going to the moon, that's not true. Everybody has you have to go and you have to shut certain things down.
Right.
The way they made that scene is so haunting to me. Here's why. I wasn't even there. I was nowhere around.
Where were you?
I was in San Diego doing a show.
Okay.
The Clive Davis event was the next day. We were going to go there together. And we were going to fucking really make the announcement that, like, you know what I'm saying?
So y'all had a real relationship?
1,000%, bro.
The real emotions?
Bro, that was my people, bro.
So
that's how it was. Like, I barely...
Okay, guys, there you have it. RayJ admitting that he genuinely had love for Whitney Houston. They had a real relationship, and he's dismissing the, internet conspiracy theory, because based off what he's saying that he wasn't even anywhere close to her. So he's saying that the internet has been accusing him for years of being involved in Whitney's passing. And he's saying that, every time someone says this, it is not his thing to find every comment basically and shoot it down. But what he has been observing is that every time he goes live, he's consistently spammed with those comments. And if people are going to believe that, he cannot trace all of the people who believe such a thing and basically, let them know that what you're saying is not true. So that's basically what he's saying. He's basically saying people's opinion of him, is just their opinion. It doesn't mean that it is factual. People saying that he's involved in Whitney's passing is just their opinion, but he knows that it's not the truth. But what is happening now basically is that he's growing tired and frustrated of people saying it consistently, because every time he goes live, he's consistently having to deal with the spam comments of, oh, you did something to Whitney. And he's saying that he loved her, their relationship was real, and they were going to go public like just the day of her passing. If not, I think he said the day after she had passed was that was a day that they had planned to go public with their relationship. And he's basically saying that he would never do anything to hurt her because Whitney is a sister idol. But it's kind of like, you dated your sister's idol. So he's saying that he grew up observing his sister loving on Whitney, but he loved on Whitney just in another way. Kind of weird. Yes. And the internet, they have been reacting to this, saying that RayJ is giving Orlando Brown kind of vibe, but that is what they're saying RayJ is giving, and I've seen that comment on quite a few different pages. I've seen it so often at this point in time, and I'm wondering, where are they seeing that? Like, what makes them believe RayJ is giving Orlando kind of vibe? Because I really don't see that. I do see, someone who's troubled in a sense, And if you listen or if you've watched any interview with RayJ telling his life story, I think it is safe to say that RayJ has always been somewhat problematic, somewhat of a troubled individual, because if you listen to the stories of him and his involvement with gang ever since he was a child and all the trouble that his mother had to be taking him out of and all the things that he has put his mom through consistently, you would know that, RayJ, with his music is one thing, but when it comes to real life, he has always been on the problematic end. So it's not giving Orlando. It's just given, RayJ is problematic. It's given mischievous as well. And yes, I do believe, as I've said maybe 2 years ago when I initially said it, a lot of people were upset. They were mad at me for saying it. And I say it seems as though RayJ is going through something psychological, but it doesn't mean that an individual is mentally unwell if they're going through something psychological. I think the internet is too quick to label people and write off people as being mentally ill in the sense that they're giving these individuals a permanent mental illness diagnosis, while sometimes the issues are not like, for example, when they say he's like a Orlando, what they are alluding to is that he might have a bipolar disorder or something like that, but I don't think that he has that kind of issue. I think what has happened to RayJ is bad habits that is now taking a toll on him after a number of years, and him trying to win himself from those bad habits. I mean, getting clean, staying clean, and just him fighting really hard to be a really good person. And I think that that has always been one consistent battle he has been trying to fight. If you have been following RayJ and his life story, that is something that he has been trying to fight ever since he became, let's say, aware and conscious of it, because at first he wasn't acknowledging that he had a problem because he could not stay out of trouble. He did not acknowledge the fact that he could not stay out of trouble until he started acknowledging that for some reason he would just always try to find himself amongst people who are making bad choices. And he said the moment that he started acknowledging that pattern in his lifestyle, he has been fighting for change. So I don't think he's anything like Orlando. I see two different people with two different challenges. And RayJ is also an individual who is very calculated, which many people may not realize. RayJ is extremely calculated and he's extremely good at PR. RayJ knows what to say whenever he's on a podcast interview to get the internet to keep talking about him, because RayJ knows that he's getting older, and he knows that with him, the algorithm on all platforms, they're not so much in his favor. He knows that the people that are getting the attention, it's not his time. It's just that he knows he's not in his peak. But like hell, he's determined not to give up and he's determined to compete with that. So he is calculated in the sense that he knows exactly what to say to trigger the algorithms to get them talking about him, to give him some relevance, and then that basically spills over into any project that he has going on, because they know that once you keep talking about them, mentioning their name consistently, it boosts their product, it boosts their value, and it really, really does a lot for them. A lot of celebrities are aware of this trick, and it's why no matter how bad or how brutal what you see about some of these celebrities, is they'll never sue. For example, the Jenners. You can basically say anything you want to say about them. They're not going to file a lawsuit against you because they have gone down the path of, listen, if we can be shameless about this, we can use this to our advantage. And they have been using the unpleasant comments, statements, and deliveries and theories about them in their favor for years. And they see how it helps them a lot. So the media will stir the pot when it comes to the Jenners a lot. And you notice they never take legal actions. Even if you hear a creator says they have received a cease and desist from Kim, Chris, Chloe, Kendall, Kylie, Courtney, I can guarantee you it's a damn lie. If a business, however, has received a cease and desist, or if a legal team has, that you can believe, but not a content creator. They really don't go after people. So anytime they start going after people, you know that something has gone extremely wrong somewhere. So my point is, RayJ is aware of this marketing strategy, and as such, when he goes into these podcasts, he knows what to say. Remember that Shannon Sharp podcast interview where he alluded to the fact that Kim's kitty, smells. He didn't say it smells, but he alluded to the fact that it did because he knew the internet would have ran with it because he was like, I can still remember the scent. Just like what he did with Sexy Red saying, I slept with her, but he slept beside her on a flight. So he knows exactly what to say, how to act, what to do, and it's not Orlando. Trust and believe. He's just a smart guy who many people haven't figured out as yet. Very problematic, highly problematic, but he's a very smart guy as well. But anywho, guys, let me know what's your 2 cents on the matter, providing that you have an opinion. While you're at it, do all you need to do on this video to support your girl. Peace.